Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we got a real good clip here of a married woman saying how she almost lost her marriage only 6 months in, had filed for divorce, but ended up saving her marriage. And this is the lesson that she learned.
Love of my life, and I almost divorced his ass in 6 months, being real stupid and silly. Actually, we both filed for divorce. Let's talk about the struggles of being a new young wife. First thing I can tell you as a new wife, I know this is gonna be a hard practice, but shut your mouth. Shut up. Now I know some of y'all gonna say, oh, you gotta shut up because you married. What is he silencing you? No, sis, I'm not saying shut up. I'm saying pick your battles, and sometimes pick them quietly. Understand, when you became one with your husband, that means you became one. Y'all are one. You have to literally die to your old self. You don't want to do that yet. What does die to my old self mean? Because I'm very much still alive. Simply means adjustments. You got to make a lot of adjustments. Again, heavy on your one now. Know your spicy attitude isn't passion. It's a nasty attitude. That has to die for your husband. Confrontational spirits hidden by passion. You're not passionate, sis. You just got an attitude problem. Lose it. Quick gem. Successful top tier men, they just want peace. They don't want anything else. You can't do anything else for them besides bring them peace. Mistake I made, me and my husband going through issues, telling my friends about it. Don't do it. Dying to yourself is hard, okay? You spent your whole life talking, probably talking too much, getting the last word, being overly opinionated, being emotionally unstable. Some people settle for that, but this person married you, they're not going for it. Passive aggressive attitudes. Most black men, when you do that, it reminds them of somewhat what they grew up with their mom, their siblings. They married you. They don't want to feel with the trauma from childhood. And I'm about to say something that's probably gonna hurt y'all feelings. Black successful men do marry black women. But my girls, let's be for real. Let's talk about it. I already know, sis, life was not easy for us. And along the way, we formed a little neck roll that we can't get rid of. Because life was hard doesn't give you the right to be rude, a bitch, confrontational, nasty attitude, uncooperative, any of those things. You're married now, sis, so you're joining with one. It should be a peaceful harmony, right? Which means you have to die to yourself with all the ugly things that do not create peace. Let's talk about the maybe I rule. If there's conflict going on in your marriage, in your home, silently to yourself, not out loud to your husband, ask yourself, maybe I am understanding this wrong. Maybe I am processing this wrong. Maybe I am being overly emotional. Maybe I am not listening. If you silently ask yourself the maybe I's and then go in a corner and process them before you respond, you will see that maybe I can do something to meet him more in the middle versus pushing the confrontation. I did not say you cannot have an opinion. I never said that. I said, stop, process your emotions, okay? You married now. You basically just said, I love you for the rest of your life, my life, no matter what we go through. Me not really understanding the real concept of marriage, I was thinking like, oh, Dwight, you're doing this. I don't like this. I'm gonna flee. I'm gonna run. Listen, y'all. You ain't ready for marriage if that's the way you think it.
And she's absolutely right in everything that she said. Everything that she said was absolutely right. And it's things that I have repeated several times over on my channel when I start dropping gems to y'all about marriage and what makes real marriages actually work, and not the talking points, but what actually in a functional marriage as a wife, what makes these things actually work. And you do. She's absolutely right, head on. You have to pick your battles. When we say be quiet, we don't mean don't have an opinion. We don't mean you can't speak up or talk to your husband in a marriage and have, even if the conversations are difficult, we're not saying you can't have those conversations, because sis, if you married to a man you can't talk to, or else he gonna blow up, or else he gonna leave, you was with the wrong man anyway. And I don't know why you with him. Why are you with a man that you can't talk to, unless everything that you say, no matter how you say it and no matter how you bring it, he gonna walk out the door. He don't like you if that's the case. But we're not going to go into these different extremes. She's talking about a functional relationship. You're going to have to pick your battles. You can talk, you can have the opinions, you can have your thought and all of that kind of thing, but you cannot be disrespectful in your expression of them. You cannot be unreasonable in your expression of your thoughts and opinions and all of this type of stuff. And you cannot be confrontational about these things. Like, you have to learn how to communicate properly like an adult. And like the biggest thing that she said was process your emotions. Too many women have the emotions, but you don't process them. And when we say process them, we mean give yourself time to go through the feeling of them, but then you have to ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What is the root cause? Why does this incident or this conversation or this issue make me so upset? Why does it make me uneasy? Why does it give me anxiety? Why did it make me cry? Why did it make me feel unwanted or unloved? Or why do I have these negative feelings associated with this thing? You have to actually ask yourself these questions, because you have to, that is the process of processing your emotions. You have to ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And like, be honest with yourself. Why do I feel this way? Too many women make their feelings their husband's responsibility, just because your feelings are brought about due to some interaction or something like that with your husband. That doesn't necessarily make your feelings his fault. So if the thing that y'all are talking about, arguing about, whatever the case may be, got you feeling a whole way, like, you have to take a step back and you have to examine within yourself, like, why does it make me so upset? Why am I so upset? You may have a legitimate reason why you're upset. I'm not here to say every time women have emotions, it's illegitimate, it's invalid, and it don't make no sense. That's stupid. Okay, that's stupid. We're not saying that your emotions are never valid, but we're saying the way in which you going about trying to express them and all of that type of stuff, that's where the problem is coming in at. The problem is coming in at, it might be a legit thing that's going on even from his side as well, but because it made you feel bad or because it made you feel some type of way, you need him to backtrack that, or you need him to make you feel better about it, even if it means lie to you about it, as in, oh, well, it don't really bother me, knowing full and well that he just expressed that X, Y, and Z bothered him a great deal. It bothered him enough to bring it to you. So, and also, you having a little neck roll attitude, that's the equivalent of what I be talking about with the bad reaction. In a marriage, one spouse cannot have a track record of having bad reactions. Every time your spouse comes to you and expresses any kind of concern, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter how softly they say it, no matter how sweetly they say it, no matter how quietly they say it, they're not yelling, they're not being disrespectful, they're not coming for you. And every time they say something, you have a bad reaction. You either start yelling or you start neck rolling, or some of y'all start crying. Now it's a whole big emotional thing. And so what that does is it's manipulative. No matter who does it, it's a manipulation tactic, because what you're doing is you're telling your spouse, I don't want you to ever hold me accountable for anything. And so if you ever say anything to me, about something I'm doing, about your experience of me, my reaction is going to be so stupid and so crazy that you're not going to be able to fully express what's going on. I'm going to make it about me. I'm going to make it about how you made me feel and you're coming for me and you're disrespecting me. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to deflect about it. I'm going to be mad about it. And I'm going to do all of this stuff so that you learn eventually that whatever problem you got with me, you need to swallow it. Whatever problem you got with me, legit and otherwise, you can have a completely legitimate issue with me, and I swear to God, you better not tell it to me. Because if you say it to me, I'm going to blow up. And that teaches your spouse to be quiet. And the person who's doing that little tactic about being mad or what, however it is that you do when somebody brings it up, they think, oh, well, I have achieved peace. I have successfully silenced my spouse about anything concerning me and holding me accountable. What that does is the spouse that's got to be quiet starts just resenting you now. Because I can't have a conversation. Try that. Try having a conversation with you. I have tried every possible way to have a conversation with you. Loudly, quietly, jokingly. I've tried to talk to you over dinner, and nothing works. Everything is an argument at some point. So now I don't say nothing to you, but that doesn't change my mind. My mind is not changed. I still feel the same way that I felt before. It's just that I can't communicate it to you because it's going to be a whole big thing that I don't want to deal with. It's going to be this whole big emotionally draining thing that you're going to make it be. And I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to become tired. And what they start doing is resenting and then emotionally detaching. It's just the way it is. And men and women alike. A resentment comes and then emotional detachment. Just whatever. Just whatever. Just whatever. We're not gonna even talk about it no more. I don't want to talk about it. Well, what? Because the one that always have a bad reaction is always also the one talking about. Well, you could just talk to me. Well, what? Well, what's going on? No, I can't talk to you. I cannot talk to you. I cannot talk to you. I can't be honest that you don't meet my needs. I can't be honest that the way that you behave in this situation or that situation is really hurtful, actually. And I find it to be disrespectful to a certain degree. I find that you don't really value me because, you know what I'm saying, this happened and that happened, and this is the way that you react in these situations, and or whatever the case may be. And here we go. You're always talking about, and nobody has time for this. Nobody has time for this. This is how marriages be breaking up. That's how they be breaking up. Because somebody makes the communication stupid. And in this particular case, this lady is saying to the women, stop making the communication stupid. Stop it. Pick your battles. Figure out what's important. Talk about those things. If we need to talk about things, talk about those things. But all of that, like she said, neck rolling and all of that, I don't like this. Everything you don't like and all of this, you know what I'm saying? Just like every little thing is being nitpicked and every little thing got to be talked about. Like every little thing do not have to be talked about. I swear to God. That's why we saying pick your battles. As a married woman, I'm telling y'all, everything do not need to be said to your husband. I swear for God it don't. Do not. I talked about that when I talked about the whole Aisha Curry thing, when she was talking about I don't have a bone in my body that lets me keep things to myself. That's part of the problem in her marriage, because she don't know when to stop talking. She don't. She has no idea how to shut her mouth. Shutting her mouth will actually save her marriage, both publicly and privately. Just shut your mouth. She a prime example of what happens when you don't shut up. Everything do not need to be spoken aloud, and everything absolutely don't need to be told to your husband. It don't. All of them inner dialogue, inner thoughts that we be having as women, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do not tell your husband this stuff. I swear. Y'all be thinking that you need to say this stuff and it's really important. It's actually not. And it's not going to come out or come off like you think it's going to. He's not even going to receive it the way that you even intend to give it or think he's going to receive it. He's not a female. So he's going to hear whatever you saying in a whole different way than what you are trying to express. And if it's quote unquote important to you and it's not important to him and he dismisses it because he's just not going to receive it that way, now you feel away because he dismisses my feelings. And see, this is why you got to shut your mouth. This is why she started off the conversation the way that she did and said, shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut up. It's real simple. Shut up. Your mouth do not need to run. Shut up. Have some of that inner dialogue inside. Have it inner. Your inner dialogue. And don't let your inner dialogue be a bunch of foolishness either. Control that. Control what the inner dialogue is actually saying. Use the inner dialogue to actually process your feelings and not use it to badmouth your husband just in your head. That don't work either, because that plays out in your actions. Even if you never say those words, if you convince yourself to feel a certain way about your husband, that's what you're going to feel. And then that's what you're going to do. And it's not going to work. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.